Hi everyone, Alex here. Welcome back to the channel. So today will be a pretty interesting video because I'm ranking all the In Flames album. I'm trying to do one tier list video each week. Last week we did Ghost. And I didn't want to do a band that will release a new album in 2024 because it would be kind of stupid to do this video and have to redo it like in a few months. So all these bands that are releasing an album soon, I won't do them until they release an album, and I won't do a band that have not released something in forever because it's kind of stupid to do a band that is not like really relevant at this moment. So I picked a band that released one of their biggest album and best album in 2023, and I'm talking about In Flames and their album Foregone. And since In Flames has so many albums, I won't talk for too long about each and every one because I still want to make this video interesting to all of you and not bore you to death and make you just want to skip until the end to see how the full tier list looks like in the end, because I know I've done that to some other channel that I've done tier lists in the past, but we'll try to make it as interesting as possible, and we'll start from their oldest album up until their newest. And the oldest In Flames album is Lunar Strain, and this one won't really rank that high in my ranking, mainly because there's no member of In Flames that is still in this band from that album. Even the singer, they had a different singer back then, and they kind of made a switch. The singer of Dark Tranquillity, who was Anders from In Flames, came to In Flames, and previous In Flames singer, who is now the singer of Dark Tranquillity, left for Dark Tranquillity. So it was kind of a trade, but I'm sure it didn't happen like that. It was not like it was a hockey or football team. They just switched. One singer left, they replaced him, and the other one was now available, so they switched. And the album is okay, but not that great overall, so I'm putting Lunar Strain in the C tier. After that, they did the Jester Race, and that's when Bjorn came in, that's when Anders came in, that's when Jesper came in, and this album is fantastic. Still, some of the best songs to this day are on this album. It's now a really old album, so a lot of newer fans don't know it that well, but if you have never listened to this album, go check it out right now. It's one of their best work still to this day, so I'm putting this album in the A section. After that, guys, we have now I'm trying to remember which album came after that, and it was Oracle. And maybe you won't agree that this album is that good, but for me, I often hesitate between this one and another one I'll talk about for the best In Flames album of all time. So for me, it's a no-brainer. This one has to be in the S tier. So we're putting Oracle right there on top for now. And it is followed by Colony, which is my favorite album. I'm telling you guys, this one takes the top spot. There's just not a single bad song on this album, and each time I'm listening to it, it passes by so fast. It's literally the perfect album, and probably one of the best albums of all time. It could even take the top spot because that's how good it is. So I'm putting Colony right there. And after that, guys, we have this album, Clayman. We're not talking about that re-recording they did a few years ago. That was kind of awful. I'm talking about the OG Clayman. Some of their best songs are on that album, that's for sure. And I have to put this one in the S tier as well, and I promise you I won't put all the album in the S tier section. It's truly because this trilogy of album is, I will say it, yeah, I can say that statement, it's the best trilogy of all time. It's near perfection. So yeah, best 3 albums in a row. Oracle, Colony, and Clayman are taking the top spot for me. Give me any of these albums, I can listen to it all day. It's that great. So fantastic work by In Flames. After that, guys, we have the album Reroute to Remain, which is one of the first album I checked out completely by In Flames, and it's really good as well. Unfortunately, I'm not giving it the S tier section, not even beating the Jester Rays, but close to it, I would say. This title track, Reroute to Remain, is one of my favorite songs of all time. There's some gem on that album, but overall I feel it's slightly weaker with some songs that are not as good, so we're putting Reroute to Remain in the A section. After that, guys, we have the album Soundtrack to Your Escape. It's still a really great album. Don't get me wrong, I love it a lot. But other than Lunar Strain, for me, it's the weakest one because it's really like, I would say the first 4 songs on that album are the strongest part of it. After that, it's a bit weaker, but still a solid album that I could still listen to any days, like all the other ones on this list other than Lunar Strain so far. It's how good Old In Flames was. So A tier again, but yeah. After that, guys, we have another album that is Come Clarity, and it's another album with Reroute to Remain that kind of made me love In Flames, so I have no choice but to put this one high. Is it better than Reroute to Remain? I'm not sure. I would kind of put them at the same place, but just for the fun of it, let's put it like slightly better. And after that, it's the last album with Jesper, but they still kind of change everything with a sense of purpose. It was the kind of the beginning of the end for that sound of In Flames that they had, because we could say they had like the same sound from the Jester Race until Clayman, and then after that, from Reroute to Remain to Come Clarity, and maybe we could include a sense of purpose, and this will get a lot of hate on this channel, I'm sure about that, because I'm not even putting this one in B tier, guys. I'm really a big fan of this one. Even the 3 last songs on the album that were kind of the bonus track or the song that were released after, I could jam this album like all the time as well. I'm saying this too much in this video, but it's true. I love In Flames so much. They're one of the best band out there in my opinion. And a lot of people would probably put this in B tier or even C tier. But it's really that good and even better than some other album I talked about. So for me, it has to go there. Not even my least favorite one of A tier. It's even better than Soundtrack to Your Escape, in my opinion. After that, this is kind of the dark era of In Flames. The rest is not that good, unfortunately, until maybe the end of it, but you'll see later. So yeah, after that, we have Sound of a Playground fading, and let's put this one in D tier. There's some cool track on it, like the song All For Me, Deliver Us, and Where the Dead Ship Dwells. I love these songs, but other than that, I don't know. This album just does not work that well for me. And I know a lot of people are putting Siren's Charms as their least favorite In Flames album, but for me, it's not even a D tier album. Let's talk about Siren's Charms right away. And for me, Siren's Charms, I can even put it in the C section. Maybe it's just because Sound of a Playground fading, they had to adjust with Jesper leaving the band. I know he was one of the main songwriter, if not their biggest songwriter. So yeah, they needed to adjust, but it was just like not working at this time. And even though Siren's Charms, in my opinion, is more popish, more mainstream, it works a bit better. I don't like to listen to Sound of Playground fading in full. I'm just bored, and with Siren's Charms, at least I can listen to it from start to finish and still kind of have a decent time with it. After that, In Flames did Battles again. An album that will probably leave some fan wondering if I'm on drought, but I'm putting this one in B tier, and I just decided that I thought I was going to put it in C tier before making the video, but in the moment I'm feeling this album deserves a B tier because the vibe of this album is fantastic. The songs are not that great in general, but overall it's still a better level than Lunar Strain and Siren's Charm in my opinion, and it's still a fun one that I like to revisit a few times a year. So I would say it's better than average and better than decent, which for me B is a good album and it deserves this spot. I know I'll get hated for that as well. Some people will probably put it at as their least favorite, but for me it deserves the B spot. After that we have Hide the Mask, and I know I was way too late to the game, but it's the album that made me become a huge In Flame fan, and it's after that that I discovered the album like Colony, Oracle, Clayman. I listened to them before, but I was not like a big fan. I was completely missing out because In Flames is one of the best band out there. I love some songs on this album like Voices, Call My Name, one of my favorite songs by them. The first single, I don't even remember the name on top of my head like right now, but you know which one I'm talking about. They still play it at every show. But the latest part of the album, like the second half, was more soft, more mellow, and for me that's why it's not worthy of A tier ranking, but definitely high B because that first half of the album is simply fantastic. And I still love to listen to the album pretty often, even more than Battles, and it's another album that has a really great vibe, but it's maybe just nostalgia for me. Anyway, after that, guys, we have the moment you have all been waiting for, where will Forgotten rank amongst all these albums. And I'm not even sure because I'm really making up this ranking on the spot. Maybe after the video I'll think about it more and I'll hate more at myself for doing it this way. But where I'm seeing it right now is right there. It's really that great. It's everything that was great about Hide the Mask, but they went all the way this time around. There's more melodic metal influence. That was not really the case on Hide the Mask. Some tiny bits of it, but now there's some real melodic death metal influence on it. There's not really many ballads on this album like it was the case on Hide the Mask. There's maybe what's the name of the song? Yeah, Pure Light, State of Mind, something like that. That's the only suffer one on the album, but it's still a really good track, so I don't mind it. I even enjoy it. The singles were incredible. I really love the song Dialogue in B flat minor, probably my favorite song of the album. I know it's a weird choice, and the transmission is also incredible. Such a catchy chorus that I have stuck in my mind, even right now, stuck in my head. Maybe that's the right expression. I'm not English native, but you probably already figured that out at this point. So there you go for my ranking. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully you agree with it, but if you don't, that's perfectly fine. We all have our own tastes in music, and that's the beauty of it. So let me know down in the comment section what shocked you amongst my picked. How would you rank them? Let me know. I would love to know that as well. It was such an interesting thing to do. And usually when I'm making these tier list video, I have them planned out before, and I know where I'll put each and every album, but it was fun to do it on the spot with this one, especially with a band that has so many albums as In Flames. And I feel like it was more natural for me to do it on the spot than to think about it for a long time. It's probably even more representative of what I really think deep down inside. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you had a great time. I tried to not make this too long because there was so many albums to rank. But if you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading every day, so you don't want to miss anything. And leave a like on the video, so that way more In Flames fans